So then, we're on board. We're going to be flying the 172 today from Innsbruck. We're going to fly down the valley and we're going to go around, all the way around the outside to a place called Zell am See, which I've never known. But first of all, I want to just test something. So, for some reason my computer's lost all its volume filters and things, so I'm just going to look at the audio properties for my microphone. I'm going to just tweak some stuff. Okay, so let me just tweak this slightly and let me know if my microphone, when we start flying and that. Let me just up this a little bit. Okay, so that should be better. I don't know actually. That should be better. We'll see. Normally I'll do that one. Right. So then, let's go. So let's go on board. First of all, let's look at the plan actually, because I've got the plan. We're going to do a Fly UK flight tonight. So we're going to do an hour's worth of flying. And we're going to go from Innsbruck down the valley out, not necessarily across there. We might miss that, but we'll come down here, back into the valley, round and land there. That is the plan. How well it goes, we'll have to wait and see. So, cool. Well, let's just get the weather thing going. Okay, so everything looks okay from here. Let's remove the control locks and let's just set this up a little bit. Oh, this is interesting. So my OBS is playing up. So well, that's interesting. My OBS is actually playing up. Okay. So did that actually? Yeah, that works. Okay. So the sound volumes don't look are not looking too fantastic there. Right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to turn the beacon on and we're going to have a look at the fuel levels. So we'll look at the fuel levels. They look okay, and I think we should be able to go quite far with that. Right. Then we want to. And it's been a long time since I've come to this this cockpit. So we should have these open now. I really cannot see that. There we go. Alright, back to the ground. We're going to do the walk around. So we've just checked the fuel quantities and that's okay. Now this should be cold, so it is. So what we'll do is we'll turn the battery on and the pitot heat and then go back outside. Hi Ian. And it warms up, so that's good. So we're good on that, so we can turn that off now. Right. So I've done that check. Make sure the baggage door is nice and shut. Tie downs, and just check these. That looks okay to me, I think. Saying that let me turn my mouse capture on there because it's not capturing my cursor. Right. Should capture my cursor. There we go. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, And it's been a long time since I've flown the 172. Should we have one of them on this side? I think we do. Because I'm not too sure, we will check that. And I've got to put the flaps down. Jeez, I've forgotten how to fly. Right. Let them flaps go all down. Where did we get up to? Let's just skip around the plane until we get to where we was. There we go. So it's not jammed, and that all looks okay to me, which is good. That looks okay, and we are going to go into the maintenance hangar just to give it the tie down, just to have a look at the fuel. Looks okay. The quantities are good because we just checked the quantities anyway. Just check them. Oil could probably do with a top up, so we'll top the oil up. There's nothing, there's no water or anything in there, so that's good. There's no blockages. Let's have a look at this one. So we're getting true readings, which is good. No blockages on them. Just check this one. Right. That all looks okay. That's not jammed, so that looks okay too. That looks okay. Right. So we're in now, but what we will do is, just because we've got a few little bits, so everything seems okay. Just do a compression test. Yeah, that looks okay as well. Cool. So the plane itself looks okay. We've got enough fuel. Probably just top up the oil a little bit, and that should be good to go. Right, so let's get this plane started up and warmed up. So first things first, get them flaps back up. Oops, wrong one. Right, so we did that without putting the beacon on, which is probably the best thing to do. Right, fuel pump on, and then off again, and then we should be able to turn the key. Go up to 1,200. We should see vacuum going, fuel flow, oil pressure. Now we can start leaning the mixture until it starts to go rough, but then just nudging in a little bit. And that'll stop us from fouling in plugs. Right, so nav lights and P3Dv5 just because we can. Right, what I am going to do is I'm just going to test all the lights. So we've definitely got strobes. We've got nav lights, we've got landing lights, we've got nav lights, we've got a beacon. Alright. So that's good. Now we're using the Garmin 650, the GTM. After the install, I didn't actually
TOS system test okay.
I didn't actually turn the sound off, so that's might not be good today, but that's where we're going to head. We're going to go the long way round. We're not going to use autopilot, but we are I'm thinking more about going around about maybe 5,000 feet. In terms of the altimeter, let's set the altimeter. We've got 29.97. .97. Yeah. So that'll do about there-ish. Probably about there. Used to have. Yeah, the compass looks correct as well. Pretty much so. That's good. Right, so the runways at Innsbruck is pretty much 0826. So the winds are currently 070 at 6 knots. So runway 08 is going to be our zero, which is approximately there. So we've got to go down that way. Now I've not taken off from this parking spot. I'm normally over the way. You can't see the tower over there, but that way, no. So I normally start off over that way somewhere, or at one of the gates. I've never really started off this side, so it's going to be interesting actually to take off this side. Now the temperature's just going to the green, so what I want to point out is actually today I'm flying for the very first time really on stream, and I've only used it once before. I've been modifying my yoke. So my yoke now, I've taken away the springs, I've taken away the centering arms, and I've replaced it with elastic bands. And it sounds really dodgy, but it's really, really good. I do recommend it. It's so smooth. The only thing that I might try and change. I don't want to really change any settings. I'm just going to change something, and I apologise if it crashes my sim, but now's the best time to do it, I think, rather than anywhere up in the air. Right. Control collaboration. This is the one. So actually, everything is the way it should be. Yeah, everything's right. Sorry, I shouldn't have touched that. Right. So in the green, and we've got. Oh, 1 minute. It did the thing again. It did the thing again. Right. So we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. We're going to start our taxi now. So what we'll do is we'll flick on the old taxi light. Oops, taxi light. There we go. Parking brakes off. Now I'm not sure whether I can actually go test the brakes. I don't know if I can actually go that way, or whether I need to venture off down there. I'm not really savvied up with Innsbruck. Let's go that way. Oh, I don't want to go to. I don't want to go on. I'm not going on. I haven't got it set up, Ian. I haven't got VATSIM set up on this, so I'm definitely not gonna. I don't know if I should be going this way, but I am going this way. They still haven't fixed the old white stuff going around all the trees and things, but. I'm just going to kind of head this way, but I don't even know whether this is the correct thing to do. There's the runway. We'll just head down here. That's interesting. Let's just stop here for a second. Right. Let's have a look. Because I reckon I'm completely wrong, right? Okay, so actually the taxiway, you could have gone down that way, I think. And yeah, I think really what we should have done is taxied onto that way and then down there. But it doesn't matter, because what we're going to do is we're just going to head straight this way and cut across so we can get a nice takeoff. And we're going in the right direction, so now the weather's looking good at the moment. I should have cut across the grass here. It's just a bad thing to do, but let's just pretend that didn't happen. We're not on Batsim. We're going to take off this side actually. Right, here we go. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to do my run up on the runway, which you wouldn't normally do, but I've had to do it. So okay, landing light on. I don't think you put your fuel pump on this one, but strobe's definitely on. Right, here we go. No, don't have a POSCON account, man. Up we go. Pull this back a little bit. Hi John, welcome to the stream, mate. No, I don't have a POSCON account, mate. Either. I want to get a good shot of Innsbruck on the way out, but I haven't got a camera set up. Looks a bit dodgy, doesn't it, with the grass and stuff? But they've definitely got some fixing to do with in terms of P3D version 5, but you know it's still very good and the performance is amazing. It's a shame it has all this white stuff as well when you've got the. It's almost like the PBR effect is a bit dodgy. Anyhow. I'm not doing multiplayer because of the. When I do multiplayer when I'm streaming, because I use the same internet connection to do the multiplayer and the streaming, it has to use all my bandwidth for the upload. So it either makes my stream really laggy, or it makes the actual sim laggy, and I'm not having it. So choosing not to. Thanks for the offer, though, Ian. Some fuel out my left tank because it's pulling to the left like really bad. So I think I'll use a bit of left fuel. I mean, it does anyway, this plane. It's more so tonight for some reason. Just going to lean out the mixture a little bit. So here we go, we're on the move. And as I say, the yoke, it's better than what it was in terms of smoothness, like going backwards and forwards. It still does grip though on the ring that the shaft goes through, unfortunately. So I'm going to start looking at some sort of like products that will help that. But it's a lot better in the centered kind of section. So you can pretty much make really fine adjustments if you really wanted to. And with the elastic bands you've still got that little bit of tension, so it still kind of draws itself into the centre, which is quite good. So can you still hear me, or is the sim too loud, or? Is it not necessarily the volume, but like when I'm talking, my voice isn't loud enough. Change something. Okay, that might be a bit better. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully that's better. So I'm just messing with my microphone now. There we go. Is that better? Lots of tweaking going on, which right, so what we're going to do is just going to level out a bit. It's a shame that all this white stuff and fuzziness is happening, because if it weren't for that, it'd look absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, I don't know what's causing it. It's definitely a P3Dv5 job, you know. But yeah, look at that. So you can see it all over the wings there. It's proper weird. Nah, I like True Sky, that's the problem. I like all this, I just don't necessarily like that. I don't like it when it's turned off either. The cloud texture is just horrible. Right, now I don't have a clue where I'm going, but we're going. So we've got to follow this out. What we could do potentially is insert or so if I zoom in, what we're going to do is end up going up there, around there. So I didn't need to do that actually. I didn't need to do that. Right, let's put up with it there. I know, yeah, you can't win. Can't win. Can't have everything. So, who's excited then about Flight Sim 2020? Who's excited? Let's see. I'm excited. I'm actually on holiday though, unfortunately, when it's released. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to download and install it, fly with it until I get back on holiday. So now I'm believing the hype because I've spoke to a few people that were part of the testing of the product, and they're people that I trust, and they have said that it's a game changer. So fingers crossed. Even to the point where let me just do a display capture and get that window from behind there. 1 minute. Even to the point when I have actually emptied a hard drive, a 1 terabyte SSD there, completely empty, ready for FS 2012. But we'll get there. There we go, so that'll do. We'll just trim up a little bit. Dark side, could it be interesting? Yeah. I mean, I don't need a 1 terabyte to run it, because I think it's only 150 gig download, so it can't be a huge thing. It's more the cache scenery, I think. Well, JP, I've got a 4790K with 32 gig of RAM. But the difference is I have got a 2080 Ti graphics card. So I'm, like you, I'm hoping that my CPU will do a nice job of it. And I'm hoping it's more GPU dependent. I think it will be a mix, to be fair. But the fuzziness is kind of easing off here. You know me, I like to take a few screen grabs along the way, so let's grab a screenshot of that. So what's everyone been up to then? Apart from being locked in lockdown or whatever. I mean, you got a bit of freedom now. You can get around a little bit. You know, people are back to work. I'm back to work. It's very stressful, but it's okay, I suppose. Now I'm doing this flight for the Fly UK, and then afterwards what I'm going to do is, depending on what time I finish, because I'm hoping I'm going to finish, I don't know what time I'm going to finish actually, but I might not have time. But oh, I've only been flying for 20 minutes, so It's going to take me a little while. But what I was going to do, I was just going to do a test stream for my Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I don't normally stream it because I have the graphics set up to the max, and it does get, it used to stutter, so, but I wanted to have another go at it, just to see whether the stutters have resolved. If they haven't, then they haven't. If they have, then I might stream that a couple of times. And the reason being is they've just announced that there's going to be an update to Red Dead Redemption 2. There's going to be a new role, and there's going to be a couple of other things. So I'm thinking about just giving that a bit of a whirl again. Yeah, I see you on lunch at the moment. No work yet? Ah, well, Ian, I'm sure it'll pick up eventually, won't it? I'm at home. I'm working from home, so I don't have to go into the office just yet. But they are thinking about bringing that back in, and putting people back into the office. But yeah, it's very frustrating. What's that, guys? My yoke doesn't feel. It feels like the left isn't pulling so much. So let me just have a look. Yeah, it is. Right, so I'm just going to do something really drastic at the minute. I'm going to unplug my yoke. I'm going to unplug my yoke and plug it back in. I'm really hoping it doesn't crash the sim. Fingers crossed, everyone. Give me 2 minutes. Hopefully that hasn't crashed the sim. Let me, well, the yoke is being responsive. FS2 is going to be through the Microsoft Store. Yeah, it's because it's going to be released on Xbox as well, isn't it? So, let me just double check what I've just checked before, just to see my yoke system. That's fine. Well, I've just got to start flicking a few things around here, peeps. Cool, that's better. So now it's instant. There we go. Just drop that down a touch. There we go. Right. So we'll start leaning it out as it gets a bit rough, and notching the mixture a little bit until it gets smooth again. And we're happy as Larry, right? Overall, is the upgrade worth it from version 4 to version 5? Right, so version 4 to version 5, in terms of performance, me personally, I'll get a better performance. However, I like the True Sky stuff, which is all this kind of stuff, but that's only experimental at the moment. So if you can look, if I keep my head still, actually I'll just disable my, there we go, no. Well, I've disabled my head tracking. If you look on top of the mountains, you can see like a flicker, especially there, right? There are still some some defects, some bugs with this, with version 5. You can disable the atmospheric, but as I say, I like it, apart from the little flickery bits, but other than that, I do actually really like it. I did use my Twitch cam. Oh, nice. Oh. What was you streaming? It was a live coverage of a funeral service for a local funeral director. Was he a good friend? Is that what he actually wanted? I don't get what you was. Was it so that people could watch it and like pay their respects? I read that and completely did not grasp what you was saying. Wow. That would be quite clever though, wouldn't it? Like you could stream someone's funeral. I mean, who'd have thought that? That's mad. But hi Sim, welcome on board, mate. Yeah, it does sim, but there's some bugs in version 5. So there's like some shimmering on the cloud, like where the clouds are, but that it's only experimental functionality that. So eventually they will fix it. But other than that, it's proper smooth, really smooth. Wow. That is pretty cool, Ian, and fair play for doing it, you know, mate. Really good. So the fuel's good now. I'm just going to flick that back onto both tanks. I do normally have on both. And what it was, I'll tell you what, I'll show you what I was doing, because it might be fascinating to some of you. It's where am I? There I am. Right. So display capture. Now on my desktop, I've got. You can get to this actually by going into your settings, yeah, and you go into, I think it's devices, I think, and possibly flight yoke system. It's not remove device. What is it? Devices and I can't remember how you get to this. I cannot remember how you get to it. But basically, you go to your game controller settings. I'm going to crash in a bit. Right. And what you do is, I've got my flight yoke. And you press properties, and all these are normal. And you get your dead zones. So when you move your yoke, right, don't worry about the Z so much. And all these, but the x-axis is what is the alien ones. And what happens when I start my machine with the yoke plugged in, that starts off over here, so it's constantly pulling to the left. And what I have to do is unplug my yoke and plug it back in again. It centres the axis again, so it's perfectly fine. So I thought I'd just show you, because sometimes that's all it takes, is a bit of an unplug and then plug it back in again. So I just heard that we got a bit of a follow, so yep, thank you JP Sullies, thanks for that. Right, so we're gonna follow this river round, and oh, I know what I can show you actually. The stream might stutter a little bit, but be patient. Give it a minute. So people who are on my Discord would have already seen this, I think. I'm just going to try and bring it up. Right. So just tell me if I'm going to crash, because let me just minimise that for a minute. Click that, turn that off. Right, so we've got to head out that way, I think. And we're still on display capture, that's why it's a bit stuttery, isn't it? So, I know we're not on display capture, but we are now. Right, so this is my yoke, so I opened it up and I took away the two arms that basically go either side of this like bracket. And then what that was the thing that was causing the really horrible centering. So I get rid of them and I basically replaced it with like this elastic band circuit, and then you put the lid on and it stops the elastic bands from coming off the tabs. And what that means is it doesn't center anymore. Like it doesn't, not that it doesn't center anymore, but it doesn't have like an indentation. So you can make really fine adjustments without. See, I could probably get, because I used to have like dead zones on my yoke, and I think I could probably lower them now. I think I probably could lower them now. I'd like to lower them right now, but well, JP, what's your name, mate? Because like, or do you like being called JP? I don't know. Or Sauls, I don't know. What do you want to be called? Alright, JP, cool. So no, I mean, I used elastic bands when I first put them in. The thing was really quite stiff, and I've used it say 1 or 2 times, and I've really give it a good push backwards and forwards a few times, and now it does feel really nice. But even if they did stretch, they're still quite stiff. So I think I'd be grateful if they did stretch a little bit. And you could always open it up and replace the bands. And even if you was worried about like snapping them, you know, you could still open it up and replace it. Because once you know how to do it and once you've done it, you know, you're not that scared of trying it out. I am going to just pause my sim for it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just going to reduce the dead zones on this. Just down to say 25. I use the settings from my old settings, you see. Well, give me a second, it'll be back on board in a minute. It always does that. Oops. There we go. So it wasn't so much that. That feels quite nice, and that definitely feels good. So yeah. Here we go. Out we go. So we're still heading to the place. If we get a little nav map, this is where we're kind of going now. So we're not going to go over that airfield. We're going to follow the mountains around, and then we're going to head over more towards Lowe's. More towards Lowe's, and then follow the valley back in. Now, I've never flown this, so I honestly don't have a clue what it's going to be like. So it's going to be interesting. But that's the plan. This looks fantastic. I mean, look at that. That just looks superb. Apart from the shimmering, it's not everywhere, but yeah, it looks good. So we're hopefully doing an hour's worth of flying, and that's due to the fact we're going to do another half an hour, and that's due to the fact that I have to do a Fly UK flight to keep my account active, and it's that time of the month where we need to do one, so I thought I'd try it out. Now the interesting thing about that is I had to keep P3D version 5 because if we do go down to FS 2020, if they don't update their Skytrack software, then I won't be able to keep my account active. So, but to be fair, I mean, P3D version 5, it's not been out too long, so I think I would like to keep it and keep flying, and I'm very interested when I see them fix some of this stuff and get better. This is going to be a really nice sim for people that can't necessarily run FS 2020. At the minute I don't even know whether I can run it, but I should be okay given my PC specs. But we'll see. We'll see. And what I am noticing, the water's looking better tonight than it has done a few times before. That'll be my famous last words, but we've not really gone over a big patch of water. But yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. So what was really good actually, just to share my life with you all, is my son. He has a Samsung tablet, and a few months back it kind of wouldn't charge, so I took it to this shop, and the shop guy changed the charger connector on it, and it cost me about 50 quid, and I was like, So I paid it, it was fixed, it was great. And then the other day my son went, oh, my screen's gone black and it won't come on. So I'm like, okay, give it here. So I try and turn it off and turn it on, but because you can't see the screen, you don't know whether it's off or whether it's on or whatever, so you're like, okay, what shall I do? So me and the wife, we said, oh, shall we have a look at replacing it? She'll just buy a new one. It's relatively new anyway, but so what we did was we thought, stuff it, if he's going to charge us 50 quid to replace the screen or do whatever he wants to do, I mean, it's going to be more than 50 quid, I would imagine. So I said, I'll just buy him a new tablet, because the new tablet was like 200. So he was like, well, might as well just buy him a new tablet. So we bought him a new tablet, and I set it up, and then I give it in. And I thought, well, because the old tablet was basically bricked, in a way, I thought I'll open it up and see if I can figure out if I can fix it. And if I can't fix it, it's broke anyway. Or if I make it worse, it's broke, so it doesn't really matter. Next thing you know, I get the back off it. I take there's like a little ribbon cable in there. I took it out of its seating, give it a wipe, put it back in. Ta-da! It worked. I was like, oh man. But the good news is I've kept it, so I've kept that one. And my son has got a nice new tablet. Interesting story, bro. Right, let's have a look on the outside. That's nice. So I don't really know. We've still got a way to go before we head back into the valley. yeah, so we're I don't fly much around Innsbruck, so it's quite interesting to see. Quite interesting area. So it says we've got 20 minutes, but we haven't because we're kind of going the long way round. If we went direct, it'd be 20 minutes. It's approximately somewhere over there somewhere, but we're not doing that today. We're going to keep going up until we see. I'm kind of using a little nav map as a bit of a guide, but so we're going to try and see if we can get to this Lowe's, right? Salzburg. So yeah, so then we'll head into the valley. You can't see the valley here, but I believe it's there. I hope it's there. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to go down there. But yeah, and then we'll head straight down into here. But yeah, there we go. We'll try that. The other option we've got as well is we can potentially. I've not done this for a while. Let's do 410. Now you have to push it in. There we go. As I say, I've not done that for a while. There we go, 410. So that's picked it up there. So we just got to. That's to Salzburg. So we've got to head that way. And you know, when you do use that, you've got to kind of account for the needle. Otherwise, you end up doing a big turn like this. But we'll be okay if we just head towards it, get a rough direction. It's so tempting just to go up that way, but I'm not gonna. I do love the 172. It is one of my favourites. It's not my favourite though. My favourite is the Comanche, as everyone knows. But now I don't know when I get the. And that's the other thing as well, which I've not mentioned, and I do normally mention things like that. So A2A have also announced that they are developing, as many of you guys would know, you know, they're also developing for FS 2020, and they're hoping to bring in the old Aerostar, and that potentially, as long as FS 2020 works nicely on my computer, and when they release the Aerostar, that could become my new favourite. So that is going to be interesting. That is true, and I have said that, and I still say it. I will still say it. It's going to come with hopefully a few more bells and whistles. Hopefully in the future, when they release some of the more single prop. Don't get me wrong, I will love the Aerostar, but when they release the some more of the single props planes, hopefully one of those will become my new favourite. But I think the 172 actually was the very first. Yeah, it was. The 172 was the very first A2A GA airplane that I bought. I followed it all the way through its development. I don't think I've been in flight sim for a long time, but I think I'd only just really recognised A2A and their GA section. I don't know whether the 172 was actually their first GA. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember that. But either way, I followed it on YouTube, all the development videos. I saw them doing the sound checks and the sound tests, all that, and showing sneak peeks of all the preview features and all that. I thought, oh, wow, this has got to be, this is like the most realistic plane that you can get, and I need it, so I got it. And I do love the 172, but then they started releasing others, didn't they? You know, the Comanche came out, and that was always a good one. I think I did have, I can't remember, I did have the FSX. I'm sure I had the other one. The one like the Comanche, but it doesn't have the retractable gears. What one's that one? I can't remember its name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's just not there. What's it called now? Oh man. Comanche, oh man, what is it? Cherokee. Boom. Cherokee. Thanks, Ian. I got it just before that popped up. Yeah, the Cherokee. And I think I had that for FSX, and I did like it, but because it didn't have the retractable gears, it didn't have the prop lever, I don't think. It was very similar to the 172 in terms of controls. Not obviously looks and handling, but control-wise, it was very similar, in my opinion. So yeah, so I thought I would definitely stick with the Comanche. So when I moved over to P3Dv5, you had to repurchase all your planes. I kind of let that one go. I didn't bother with it. Alright. So in theory, I know I was going to go all the way to, I don't think I'm going to be able to have time to do the whole way to Zell, because that is quite far. I didn't really plan this out very well. So I'm not sure whether I just want to go to Salzburg. That is, it's quite far. So that's going to be 32. Yeah, I'll see. I'll see how it goes. I am tempted just to go to Salzburg then instead. Nah, we'll carry on. We'll carry on. Cherokee. Unfortunately, I can't have music on my streams because it mutes the sound. So you have to put it with my singing, with my original singing voice. So the ADF needle is just to the left, so we're just going to hover to the left a little bit. Yeah, so much better. So much better. Oh yes. I 100% recommend people to do the elastic band thing. I watched a video on it, and if you want me to, if you want the video, I can put it in the chat. I can probably find it for you. I'll tell you what, if you find, I'll try and remember, and if not, ask me on Discord if you want me to, if you want the link, and I'll post the link on Discord instead. But it does void your warranty, so if you're going to do it, every person's results are going to be slightly different, I'm sure. So just because it worked really nice for me, it might not work well for you, but it's your risk. It is your risk. Yeah, I mean, I try and shut up every now and again, just so you guys can just listen to the plane and whatever. So we've got Salzburg up above, straight ahead even, not up above, straight ahead. And we are getting close to where we want to turn in. It's basically that river. I think that's a river. I don't know if it's a river or a road. I think it's a river. And we basically want to follow that all the way around, and I'm hoping it doesn't get too narrow, because that's where we're heading. So we're gonna have to play it by ear and just jump straight in. Oh, we've had a weather update by the looks of it. Bit of visibility change in there. No sign of the fulcrum. It's kind of a good job really, because I ended up buying. Sorry, I've got an itchy leg, so I'm kind of wobbling my head around. I ended up buying my 2080 Ti, didn't I? So I kind of spent my savings on that. I was saving for that yoke since probably November time last year, and I thought to myself, my graphics card is really irritating. So I need a new one, and the fulcrum got delayed because of COVID. So I thought I'll wait it out. The last thing I heard was they were getting parts from China or Japan or something, and they couldn't get them over here. So then they chose a different supplier that was UK based, which obviously is a bonus. And then that was the last thing I heard. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think when they chose their new supplier for this one piece, I think they did want to do some further testing. So I know it might just be excuses, who knows, but you know, I honestly don't think that they were that far off a release of a product, you know, the product, and a decent product at that. So it's a shame really, because as I had a lot of hope for the yoke. When I was at Cosford, I was loving it, absolutely loving it. You know, the things that I've heard from it, like the sensors that it uses, you know, it's completely different. They won't wear away because they are completely different. But you know, they did have a working demo. The problem is, some of the parts in there were from China. And I know that's a bit of an excuse, but likewise, if you get a different supplier, you kind of want to make sure that supplier is good for the money, you know, because it won't come back on them. It won't go back onto the supplier. It will come back on them. So I kind of understand it from both parties. Me personally, I think I'd rather wait and get something right than get something that is a bit mediocre, a bit like especially how much you're paying, you know. But you know, I get your frustrations, obviously, because as you say, they had it all going at Cosford, and it was a really good plane, really good yoke, sorry. So we're just going over Salzburg. That means we cannot follow the ADF needle anymore, because obviously we're going the wrong way. We will eventually find the river that we need to follow. Now, I don't know. I'm not familiar with Salzburg, but what the hell is that? What is that? Is that a castle? Or a fort or something like that? That's madness. Neat little hangars down there. Right, so this is where we are going to start turning on. And we've got to kind of look out the window because well, I can see like a river. And I've got a funny feeling that's the one we've got to follow, so we'll do that. Yep, so just in the chat there's my Discord server has been posted up there by Mr. Nightbot. If you would like to join that, feel free to click the link and it will give you an information channel. Click into the channel, you will see a single post with some instructions. It's not difficult, all you got to do is click the little plane icon and it will give you access to all the other channels on my server, and you'll get instant notifications when I go live. Sometimes it is quite a quiet server, so it's not very lively, but you get to see some of the pictures that I throw up there if you've missed a stream or any tweaks that I've done. So yeah, just give it a whirl if you want. Right, so we are now going into the unknown. I'm going to keep it at least 4,500 feet. Okay. Alright then. We are going to try and head to Zell. We are going to go and try and get there. It says we were going to do it, and we're going to do it. Right, I had the opportunity for a good deal to buy the honeycomb. Do you know what? Yeah, was that 2 years ago? It's only 1 year ago. Well, I suppose it's almost 2 years ago, wasn't it? I suppose. Yeah, you're right, it was, because if you think about it, it was... No, hold on. Weren't it this time last year that we went to Cosford? I can't remember. Oh, here we go. I can't even... Okay, it's a castle. Thanks, JP. I'm not... Hohensalzburg Castle. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I don't know whether that is how you pronounce it. That's how I've just pronounced it. Now, we've lost the river, but we're on top of it. So... I'll make do with my my rubber bands. Don't get me wrong, I quite like the look of the honeycomb, and I almost went for it. And it was slightly cheaper than the fulcrum. And I was tempted. I really was tempted, but in the end, I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. But now, what I kind of wish, if I knew all this was going to happen, at that time I probably would have bought the honeycomb, and then when Fulcrum comes out in like 2 years' time, I would have upgraded and bought that and then sold the honeycomb. But yeah, I mean, in hindsight, you can say that, but at the time, you know, they were ready to go, and I seriously think that something's not quite right where, you know, I think they must have had some sort of hassle or whatever, you know. Yeah, definitely, and I think definitely you're right there, because a lot of people won't have the patience to wait, and they'll just go for the honeycomb, you know. And I think because the honeycomb was ready to go, they were basically saying at Cosford, you know, yeah, we're right close, wait for us. And whether it was excuses or whether it was just hard luck that their product couldn't be released when they wanted it to be, you know, that's just no one will ever know, will they? So I'd hope that it was because of COVID and they've had more issues than just what they've let on, but who knows. Yeah, I saw that picture as well. It is what it is. You know, if you can't get that part, or if you're waiting for them to make that part, or whatever, I don't know what the situation is. Then you've got to fit the parts in all them hundreds of fulcrums. Yeah. And you've got to gauge how popular you're going to be as well, because it's okay making 100 of the others, but as soon as you sell them, you know, if you get like 200 people going, come on, you know, you're going to be like, you're going to be up the creek, up that creek. So I'm kind of flying on the outside here. I don't know why. I've just kind of forgotten that I was outside. Right, now this is where I ain't got a clue where I'm going. So actually, we want to go straight on over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to up the throttle a little bit. Get some positive brake going on. Itchy nose. Yeah, but the thing is, they changed their supplier. I'm sure I read that they changed their supplier from the Chinese to a British supplier, and in doing so would help them get back on board. But maybe that supplier's gone through. Maybe you know, maybe that they've pulled out. I don't know, but for one reason or another, it's not here. You know, it's not here. Now I actually get on with. I spoke with the guys at Falkland, Chris, and I might drop him a message just to see how he's getting on. But
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
go away. Right, what we're going to have to do is try and turn that off. So
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
it's one of these.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull.
There we go. I think it was that. Normally, I have I update all my settings files, and I'm wondering if I've not updated it since I installed P3D version 5. Let me have a look. Right. I've got a funny feeling I don't think I have. Oh, I know what I did. Oh man. Right, so I'll show you what I did. Right, display capture again. Here we go. Here we go. Right, so in the A2A, in your sim object of A2A, you get to the 172. You've got this Flight 1 GTN. You open that up, you'll get this bad boy. Right. Now, normally my 172, I have the 750. So I've gone and basically turned off some of the things that I don't like. I also turn off the sound altogether. Also update a couple of other bits and bobs, but I didn't do it with the 650. So as you can see, we've still got sound, and you can't change that now. It's only when you load it. So I'm gonna have to update that at some point. Damn you, little tinker. Right, so we went through that little bit of rockage there, which is looking pretty damn good if you ask me. There we go. Look. Through the rocks. It's just through the rocks. We're just gonna stick to 5,000 feet here. Not got too far now to go. Now apparently the elevation of that is 2,470, so 2,500 feet. according to Little Nav Map, but I think, let's go to my plan. Yeah, so that's good. It matches, which is good. So 2,500 roughly is what we're kind of looking at. So we will need to drop down to, we're at 5,000, drop 2,500 feet. So 2,000 feet, 2.6, 6 nautical miles. We'll start our descent. Boom. Yeah, it's a good chat. No, I'm sure that it was only last year's Cosford when he had that full on, the full black version, the proper version that was selling. I'm sure it was only last year, wasn't it? 2019. Because I started saving, and it was going to be out in the November. I heard it was going to be in the November. Or was it? No, it wasn't going to be in the November. Sorry, I was saving for November because I knew that Christmas was going to be there, and I would need to save for Christmas and stuff. So yes, I don't know. I mean, he's a good chap, and yeah. And it was good, you know, good at Cosford and good to have a catch up and things. But yeah, I mean, it is quite calm. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe, okay, so maybe now that the lockdown's kind of easing off, the company that have chosen might start making it. But if we think about it, some of our supply chain is helping you. So that's interesting then. So it does look like, it does kind of look like that that actually part of their supply chain is gonna basically be affected by COVID, and that's why. So maybe that's, you know, that's a fact, and it's just the way it is. He gets me as an honest person, you know, he does. But he does get me as an honest kind of guy. Right then, which model? 150, 160, 180. So this is the 172. You're asking me about the horsepower, and I cannot remember for the life of me which one this one is. Let me see if I can fish it. Give me a second. Have a look. If I've got the manuals, damn it, I haven't got the manual. Give me a minute. I'll see if I can find the manual. The manual. Right. Get the old display capture on the go, zoom out a little bit. So we've got the 172 here. Problem is, it goes through a lot of stuff. And I can't remember. Maybe Ian can help. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember what it's based on. Like. And I haven't come across any kind of like horsepower yet. the 180. Is it 180? Yeah, there we go. The 180. And I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't change the engine in this. So it's the 180. There you go. And I'm kind of losing my way here because I'm meant to be following that little river down there. Otherwise, I'm going to be in the trouble. Now I've just thumped up my mixture a little bit. We're leaning it out a little bit. Oh man, Ian, I can't read all that. I'm trying to fly. Oh my goodness, Ian. Let me show you that it's not model. See. Ah, so now they've got classification issues. Nice. Almost to L. AI, is it L or AI? No, you're okay, mate. Ask away. That's what I'm here for. It's all good fun. I was only joking. We're into the pre-order page on the website. This is currently being put together by our web developer. This will not be for Al. Cool. So any payments? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, they didn't want to do that, but I suppose, you know, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. So how are you doing then, Al? How are you doing? You into flight simming yourself? Right. So let's have a look at the information for the flight plan. Oh no. Damn it. I wanted to click that one. Runways. That's what we got. We've got a 26 and a 08. So we will need to look at the winds again. The winds are so 30.04 inches on the old 30.04. 30.04, so it's slightly up, probably about there, which we'll keep it at. The winds are at 110, so 110, completely 110 is about there, isn't it? So that's 110, I believe. Yeah, it is, yeah. So we're going to be looking at, I can't remember what the bloody runway was, damn it. We're actually, no, so yeah, so we're going to be looking at landing in the opposite direction, which isn't what I wanted to do, but we are, so that's that. There we go. Oh, real flying, watch you fly. JP just said the same thing. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's good to see. I'm quite jealous. I mean, I've flown a 172, but that's about it. I haven't flown anything else, unfortunately. I definitely don't have my license or anything. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted, but it's a bit too late in the day for me to start thinking about even going flying. I do it as a, you know, I'll pay every now and again just to have a little bit of a pop, but that's about it. Right then, so we are starting to come down to where we need to start thinking about descending, but to be fair, I think we're at 4,000 feet. I think we're okay for now. My compass needs updating though, I believe, so let's just move that slightly that way, a little bit more. I think that should do it. It's about there, so I'll pop it there. We'll try and head on in. As I say, we will try and turn around and land the other way, but we'll get there. Wow, the beaver. And the twin otter as well. I like the twin otter. In the sim I've flown all three of them, but the twin otter, yeah. Right then. So we're 4 minutes away, but we have got to spin it around. We'll join on downwind, and then we'll turn it out. Now, the problem is I don't know how narrow it is down here. It looks like we've got some visibility issues as well, but hopefully that won't hinder us. Nice. I'm really happy with the weather actually. This is real world weather at the moment. I try and always use real world weather where I can. And yeah, so this is real world weather. We've got not many clouds. I mean, in the UK at the moment, there's thunderstorms and clouds and rain and all sorts. So I thought that's why I chose Innsbruck. And I took a bit of a gamble and thought, I normally like to fly the UK kind of routes, but I thought I'll do Innsbruck. And yeah, I mean it's been a nice flight actually. It's been very relaxed, and hopefully we can land this quite nice. It's been a long time since I've landed with the 172, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm hoping that we can do a bit of a shifty U-turn, but we'll see. I'm going to go mixture full now though, just because we will be coming to land soon. And this is where we're going to test the elastic bands out, because I've not actually landed. I've taken off with them, and I've kind of flown around with them a little bit, but actually landed, you know, I've not landed with them, so it's going to be interesting. So just so you know, Al, I've modified my yoke. It kept having like a centering feeling to it. And when I opened it up, it was because they've got like these two arms, and when you push backwards and forwards, these two arms, when it was in the middle, there was like a gap to go that way and a gap to go that way, and in the middle, it wouldn't move it, so therefore, yeah, it wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't have it. But so what I did is I ripped them arms out and I've replaced them with like elastic bands, and it works so much better. But obviously I've not landed yet, so now apparently. I'm coming up to the runway and I can't see the runway. Apparently it's got a hard surface and I can't see that surface, so let's just go on a little, it's beyond this section, so So it should be where my compass is at the moment, but I can't see it. Yes, my GTN 650. I normally have the 750 like fitted in here, but I thought I'd choose the 650 tonight for a change. It just fits the plane a bit better, because obviously anybody that's, I mean, even the 650 is a bit expensive for a 172. People who own the 172 is not necessarily going to fit it with a GTN 750 or a 650, but anyhow. Right, so really what I should have done is maybe gone slightly to the right rather than to the left so we can look out that window. Let's have a little mosey this way, try not to hit them. And it's actually underneath us, I think, so what we'll do is we'll take the risk. I call it a risk, but it's not really a risk. We'll head out that way and we'll turn around. We'll slow this right down if we can. Just keep it trimmed up a bit. Problem is my head tracking software is not fantastic when it comes to looking all the way around, so I'm just going to pull back and trim up a little bit. I'm going to slow this plane down a bit. Right. So we're going to go down quite far. I want to have a good run up, so what we'll do is we'll probably go too far this way, but we're quite a distance, so that when we turn around we can have a good spot for the runway. Hopefully. Right, let's spin this around a touch. Let's pull back on that yoke a little bit, but I'm going to give it a bit of a flaps. Probably shouldn't have done the flaps on the old on the rotation, but there's the runway. It's because it was behind the hill when we went past it. There we go. That's much better. And we're just gonna trim down a little bit. I think we've trimmed up a little bit too much there. Alright, so we'll go flaps full. I like to take screenshots along the way, so apologies. Shouldn't really do it while we're actually very high. We shouldn't be that high. We're far too high. Because we need to drop 1,000 feet, and that ain't going to happen in 1.5 nautical miles. So let's we could do a circle. We could try and do it again, but yeah, let's do a. Let's get some throttle because we're just about to fall out of the sky, but we're good. What we do, we'll just do an orbit, a left-hand orbit, just to get out. Yeah, really, we shouldn't be. Just get some speed up there. Yeah. We're at 2,500 feet at this airfield. Unfortunately, I completely misjudged the descent. Oh well. Right, let's try again. That's looking a bit better. Oh, except for my flying. There we go, that's better. That is much better. And the head tracking software really makes it difficult to, because you end up looking like that, but actually the plane's nowhere near there, so...
500.
And that bloody thing's going to start shouting at me too, which... a bit too high again, but we're okay, we'll get down. It's quite a long runway. Just a bit of a steep approach, but we're all good. It's quite on the centre line. What? No? How did I crash? That's not right. Oh, guys. Nothing happened. It just that I think there must be like an invisible wall at that airfield. I am absolutely fed up. Oh my god, that is so annoying because I've just been doing a flight for my Fly UK, which has to be over an hour. I do it for 1 hour and 23 minutes, and then a scenery glitch causes it to crash. That's the problem when you've not flown to different airfields. Sometimes there are scenery glitches that causes it to fumble. I cannot believe that. That is absolutely. I had it going absolutely perfectly. Oh, that was so annoying. I mean, the runway was at 2,470. 2,470. We were coming in at 3,000 there. We had plenty of time. You could see the runway easily. You know, that was definitely some scenery glitch. There's actually a scenery glitch somewhere else in the UK on one of the sceneries. If you fly a certain place, it does the same thing. Your plane ends up smoking, and you're like, what the hell? Now I'm wondering. It's still saying that I'm in flight on my Fly UK Skytrack, and I'm curious if I can load the flight. If I can load the flight to that airfield, I might be able to submit it, and I really hope I can. Oh no. Right, give me a second. Give me a second. I've got to go to the airport, the one that I wanted to go to, which was Lowe's, which is so annoying. Oh, I cannot believe it did that. Oh, gotta wait for it to load again now. How annoying that. That doesn't normally happen, Al, just so as you can probably gather, as you can probably tell. I normally fly a lot around the UK, and I think I cursed myself because I said, oh, I don't normally fly Innsbruck and round that way, and I think I cursed myself. That's so annoying. The funny thing was, when I crashed, I've got my Xbox 360 controller on top of my computer plugged in because I was using it to play a bit of Red Dead Redemption, and as it went crash, the bloody thing forced feedback with the vibrations. I was like, oh sugar. Yeah, exactly. It's just a sim glitch at the end of the day. It's a shame because I just wanted to finish that flight. It's been a great flight. Lately, since I've upgraded to V5, I have had a fair few glitches where it's just interrupted my flight, and it's a shame, but these things happen, and you just move on to the next flight, don't you? So now what I've got to do here is I've got to get onto this one, and I've got to change my vehicle back to what it should be. Okay. And it's got it cold and dark and everything right there. Alright, let me just try and start this up. Ah! Oh, that's because the bloody flaps are up. 1 minute, just keep them down. Oh, you can't see this. Sorry, you can't see this. My bad. Give me a second. There we go. Alright. So I'm just going to have to start her up and hope for the best. What am I doing? What am I doing? Battery. Oh. Battery can't be flat, can it? Right. I think I've ruined my plane. Because it's crashed, everything's just ruined. Are you for real? Come on, man. And that's what irritates me, because it ruins everything, right? And I try and treat the planes as if it was a real plane, and because this plane has a oh, cheers Al, thanks for joining us. Maybe another day, eh? Very good. So it remembers everything. So now I'm because it's crashed, even though I didn't do anything wrong, it messes everything up. That's why it wouldn't start. Oh my god. I never do a full, complete overhaul. I don't like doing it. You see that button? I don't like doing that. Oh, that'll do. Right, and that should inspect the engine. I haven't inspected the engine. Ah, fuel filter. Right, okay. So now what should happen? I'm going to try and blag it, so it will hopefully, if I just lean that slightly, turn all this stuff as I would have if I was landing. Right, okay. Okay, so let's see if that actually registers. Post-flight taxi, yes. Oh, that's so funny. Right, so now I'm literally just I've still got my pitot cover on. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to stop here, right? Keep it a couple thousand, then I'm going to turn everything off again because you have to shut the plane down. So parking brake on. Just pretend that I'm somewhere else. Look at the shadow because my flap's going up. that's cool. What a shame. What an absolute shame. Right, so we'll stick it to idle. I forgot to turn the nav lights off. And then we'll cut the engine. Okay, then we can turn that off, beacon off. What a shame. Absolute shame. Right. So in theory, post-flight on the blocks, stop recording, submit the perep. Absolutely beautiful. So hopefully that's kept my normally when you crash, normally it doesn't let you do that, but what happened was what happened was I crashed, and then before it recognised that I crashed, I'd actually loaded into East Midlands in a different plane, and what it did then was it detected that I was in a different plane rather than a crash, right? So what it does is it pauses it and goes, you're in a different plane, right? So then when I swapped it and loaded here, I didn't OK that error message. I left it, and then when I started all the engine up on this and I was on the ground, when I OK'd the error message and pressed continue recording, it detected that I was in the right plane, near pretty much at the right airport, and then Bob's your uncle. So I've just done it, so that's good. That's good. It is a shame though, because that's just ruined my night. Right, let's go around. That should be on. I'm looking more for the tie downs now. I don't know what's going on with all this stuff here, but anyway. Wheel chocks. Right. All this is good. All this is good. Chocks again. I could have just guessed which ones these were going to be, but there we go. Right. So at least we're down, and we're there. So that's good. And just to prove, let's just double check that, because actually, let's double check. I'll fly UK now. I'm hoping I'll have to log in. Give me a second. Let's just drag this over to a different screen. Passwords are us, eh? Right. Crew page. Right, so crew page. We've got me as active. Last flight 27th of July, which is today. So the next flight's 27th of August. And the last flight, because it was a flying club one, there it is. Oh yeah. So we did trick it, which was good, but unfortunately we ruined our flight at the same time. So anyway, that is that, I suppose. Right then. So thanks for joining. It is time for me to rock and roll now, and get out of here. But cheers for the chatting, Ian. Keeping me company. It's been very good. And all the new people as well. Thanks for that. Thanks for joining. It's been great, especially you, JP. Feel free to come and join me on the Discord server, mate. You can always have a good chat on there away from the stream. I stream pretty much every Monday at the same time, so it's normally 6:30 Zulu or 7:30 British summertime. So yeah, feel free to come and join me anytime. Cool. And thanks for the follow. See ya. Anyway, take care all. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time on Discord. Cheers all.